Boogie Bombs are super overpowered, so here's how not to throw them at yourself. The Boogie Bomb has a radius of about 5 meters, which means if you throw it in between two boxes, both players in this situation will get Boogie Bombed. However, the blast radius of these is around 4.5 to 5 meters, so if you throw it past this point, you will not get damaged yourself. So this means if you're in a 1 tile radius with someone else, you can stand in the very corner and throw it into the opposite corner, and anyone within the box will get hit by the effect and you will not. If you're 1 tile away, the safest way to throw one is through a right hand peek window where the opponent doesn't have vision onto you, or you can sit back into the box and hide behind the cone and throw it straight into the opponent's box. But where to throw it is actually very important. If you throw it onto the ceiling up above over a right hand peak, there's a high likelihood that you'll get hit by it yourself. If you throw it onto the right wall, there's actually a chance that the cone will block this and not damage the player at all. If you want to throw it onto the cone in the middle, this again may block the opponents. So the best way to do this is to ensure you throw it onto the middle of one of the walls quite high up so that the cone does not block any of the damage. One way to counter the Boogie Bomb is just to always make sure you have a bush if possible. This completely negates all of the effects of the Boogie Bomb and of course gives you one extra hit protection against any shot they might fire. In zero build, ensuring you're higher than your opponents is absolutely critical for the majority of different styles of gameplay, but also in particular for Boogie Bombs because they can't be thrown into your bunkers from players down below. Now there are specific ways that you can throw these onto players who are up above you, but I'm going to come back to that later when we do the lineup section. They're actually so strong in zero build that the majority of players aren't even running heals, they're just taking Boogie Bombs and grapplers to ensure they can grapple up onto high ground and then throw a Boogie Bomb down onto players below and pick up free elims. Then if they need to heal, they can just grab whatever that opponent had that they've just wiped out, heal and repeat. One thing that nobody is talking about is how incredibly good damage traps are. But first, let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, ZLeague. ZLeague is a looking for group app that you can find players to play the new Fortnite OG season with based on your game you want to play, skill level, region, and interests. You can swipe through different profiles to see which ones you want to play with. Come on, how can I not say it's a playstyle? This guy's written as full piece 200, I'm him. As of recording this video, there's currently over 55,000 players as part of the Fortnite community that you can chat and find players to play with. There's a gaming content only feed where you can post tournament wins, gaming clips, and link your live streams. And there's even in-app games like Galaxy Glide, which as you can see, I am absolutely phenomenal at. You can use my link in the pinned comment to download the ZLeague app and you'll get 500 Z coins to use in the shop. And if you comment anything on this post of mine on the app, you'll be entered into a V-Buck giveaway that I'm doing there for just under $100 value total. So go do it. And thank you again for ZLeague for sponsoring this video. And now back to traps. In the hands of a pro player, they are so incredibly deadly. The distance you can place a trap from is closer to a cone rather than of a floor, meaning you can sit almost entirely in the back of your own box and place a trap on the ceiling or floor in the box outside of it. In this game, Eyedrops gets pumped in the back and creates 2 boxes to give himself space to heal. Seeing the opponent has overextended into that back box that Eyedrop owns, he edits a window in the middle and replaces the opponent's ramp with a cone using his shotgun, and at the same time places a trap on the ceiling before resetting and holding his wall and picking up the elim. Since the range of the traps is so far, you can very safely stand behind a right hand peek window edit and place a trap on either the floor, ceiling, or right wall when players get too close to you and you can't be seen at all. Since traps are placed when you release the place button, not when you click it, you should practice creating a full box through the window and then place the trap last. This means you can hold your place button throughout, and then whenever you want to reset the wall that you've just edited, you'll naturally let go of that place trap button and place it instantly. Now there's only a 41.18% chance of getting a trap from a llama or a supply drop, and since llamas aren't in tournaments, this means that the item is much more balanced than if everyone had them because players are too good and it would be hellishly broken. When it comes to loadouts, most players are running pretty similar ones: pump shotgun, assault rifle, grapple or rifts, mini shields, and chug jugs or big pots. However, there are a lot of other viable options in the loot pool that are worth considering. The hand cannon is seriously strong right now. With the amount of people rifting to escape fights when they're weak, it's a perfect weapon to wipe them out of the sky at long distances. Since there's a massive lack of shields, a lot of players aren't at 200 HP either, meaning the 160 or 168 damage headshot, depending on the rarity, can one-tap a lot of players. The 100 or 105 structure damage is also incredibly powerful. You can instantly replace any wood, or if you're fast enough, brick that has just been placed. But more importantly, any build piece that is edited immediately goes down to around 75 health depending on what it is, meaning you can just wait for a player to edit on you and retake take their wall every single time, or if you're fast enough, you can just jump straight through the wall. This can also be done with the sniper rifles and the hunting rifles if you prefer to use those over a hand cannon. Porta forts have also just been replaced by porta fortresses, which is absolutely insane, but thankfully these are not in tournaments. When playing ranked or pubs, you can throw a porta fort at an opponent's wall, which will instantly replace it, allowing you to edit through and get a free elim. You can also do this with porta fortresses if you throw it to the side of their box, but yeah, this seems a little bit overkill. In case you're wondering, yes, you can stack these on top of each other, and yes, this is peak performance, the best surge base that has ever been created. A lot of the other utility items have very similar tricks that can be used to ensure that you get a perfect throw. A lot of people will remember this chart, the old grenade lineup strat, where you mark where you want to throw it, and depending on how up the target is and how far away they are, this will determine how high on this marker your crosshair should be. However, this graph also works for stink grenades, smoke grenades, dynamite, and boogie bombs. The easiest one to remember is if they're around the same level as you, walk 65 meters away and aim 90% into the sky to get a guaranteed hit. You may want to walk around 5 meters further away if you're going to use dynamite, because this will land in front of the box rather than on top of it. However, with this information, you can also combine different throwables, like here for example, I'm throwing a dynamite that will destroy any build, and immediately after throw a boogie bomb for a guaranteed hit. If someone gets a clip of this, by the way, doing it in ranked, absolutely tag me in it on Twitter, I want to see that. For hitting players with boogie bombs that are above you, you still want to use the chart, but go around 10 meters closer than what it says, because you're trying to hit the box above. And if players are standing on ramps, it's best to aim to the edge of the box, as if you have a wall to the side, it'll land on top of this, giving you a higher chance to hit. The only one that has a different lineup is the clinger, which you can do from 100 meters instead of 65 meters away. If you throw these directly into the air, they'll land almost right in front of you, meaning you can just chuck a bunch of them on someone's box, take out your pump, and then go for a pump shot when they blow up. But you can also just throw them at the cone at the top, as long as you're not too close, because you'll die, like I did right here. Hold the wall and replace it every single time. The grenade launcher also has a slightly different lineup, so from 120 meters away, you can aim around 3 crosshairs higher above the target to guarantee the hit. Use this information to grief absolutely everyone in ranked and pubs. With shockwaves also available, another trick you can do is to stand 1.5 tiles away, throw it at a wall, and you go straight into the back of the player's box, destroying the cone at the same time. You can also do the Martos trick, where you do the exact same thing, but on top of the box, and this will destroy the cone and the floor, allowing you to double replace these. Of course, almost everyone is running the grappler because it's incredibly powerful for both W keying and rotating. The main use of the grappler in fights is to gain high ground. In this clip, Noah really doesn't quite get height from his grapple, so he lands on a ramp, places another one in front of him, and a high wall to ensure the opponent is completely blocked, and he has all of the edit control. After a nice mechy play and a bit of a poor edit, he's able to easily pick up this elim. Queasy does something similar in this clip, where he is above the opponent, but places cones and floors as he lands to ensure he gets that double piece. One of the biggest mistakes is that players do this in the open and get sprayed. However, notice in this exact clip that Queasy, after shooting the grapple, hooks behind the ramp to ensure the other player wouldn't be able to spray him with his AR. Because you no longer get fall damage when you're using the grappler, you can actually use this as a way to counter fall damage by connecting to something on your way down. This is really important for height teams that end up getting chopped out. As you see, Chicho here ends up using the grapple onto the builds as they're being chopped out to negate any fall damage. Unfortunately, he does just land straight back on this, but he's yet again able to connect to something down below and be completely fine. One of the biggest issues with Fortnite OG is just the heals. Have you seen this? I certainly have not seen these. Are they missing? Have they been abducted? I do not know. But there are certain drop spots that will guarantee you more shield than others. Everyone is landing tilted towers. However, Dusty Divot has enough shield for you and your duo to get almost maxed out, meaning if you somehow manage to find any minis, bigs, or chug jugs, you can actually keep these in your inventory rather than using them early on. Same thing with places like Lonely Lodge and Shifty Shafts. Now, in a lot of the tournaments, the games are relatively dead. They're not stacked, meaning you don't need Storm Surge. However, elims are a massive portion of the points for the skirmishes in particular. This means that you need to make sure you have a W keying path down to a T. The way that the majority of the pros do this is land at a relatively centered POI, be it either Tilted Towers, Salty Springs, or Shifty Shafts, wipe anyone off of spawn there, and then repeatedly use Riftigos to go between Salty Springs, Dusty Divot, and Tilted Towers, as this is where the majority of players end up rotating through. I would have got this video out earlier, but I've honestly just had far too much fun playing this season. Please like and subscribe. Peace.